You can't miss this view in Lincoln, the towering, massive Glazing McBean, one of only 2 terracotta clay architectural factories in America, sprawling 411 acres.
They're so beautiful,
Yes.
They're so stately, and they're so historic. They're so Glazing McBean.
We're taking you behind closed doors to see where these artists make their clay creations, flanking buildings all across America.
I will never look at the side of a beautiful building the same again.
Right.
Rob on the Road, Glazing McBean starts now.
And now, Rob on the Road, exploring Northern California.
Welcome to Lincoln, home to one of Northern California's oldest and most amazing enterprises, Glazing McBean. Since the 1800s, this company has made magic out of one of the Earth's most basic materials, clay. Travel anywhere from LA to New York, Sacramento, and San Francisco, and you will find fabulous facades, stunning statues, and astonishing architecture, all designed, developed, and delivered right here by a world-class team of sculptors who are experts in the art of terracotta, which literally means baked earth. Now, Glazing McBean is not open for public tours, but coming up, we'll take you on an all-access tour behind the scenes of this historic place, including a museum with carved artifacts dating back to California's earliest days.
This is beyond fascinating what you're about to see in the program. This is Mike Moraes. Good to see you, Mike.
Good to see you.
Thank you for having us here at Glazing McBean.
You're very welcome.
We're surrounded by architectural facades from all across the world.
All over the world.
What are these exactly?
We call these fragments. They're actual pieces that come off the building. We are copying what you see here and will provide new products on existing buildings.
Some of these look like they're 100 years old.
Some are. I mean, we'll have jobs anywhere from 30 or 40 years up to 100 plus years.
Well, there's a huge project underway inside for Chicago, some for New York. Can you show us how they're made?
We sure can. Let's go inside.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go.
A couple of basics that we need to talk about that you're going to hear during the show. You're going to hear positive, negative, positive. Walk me through that.
The plaster is going to make a positive.
Which is basically the same thing as the piece you were sent to replicate.
That's right. Then we're going to make a mold, which will be a plaster mold.
Which is the negative.
The negative. And that's what the clay is pressed into, is the mold.
Okay.
And then we pound the clay in that negative, and we make the positive again, which is the final product that we provide to the customer.
Got it. Step one, what do we have here?
We're making the positive, which is a model. What he's doing right now is he's actually pouring plaster on here. He's already mixed the plaster.
Oh, look at this. It's starting to take shape.
And you can see areas that didn't build up enough, like on the side, and he'll take some of the leftovers, and he'll work it back up again.
You literally see Armando's hands in this work.
Yeah.
I love that, the hands of the artist. Behind us, I'm seeing one that is done. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we go from you can see a little rougher product, and this is the finished product.
And this is going to, if you don't mind me looking, oh, this is Wacker Drive in Chicago. I love it. This is unbelievable. What Victor, good to see you, Victor. That Victor is doing here, replicating this. This is artistry.
This is the next step in making the model. Now, this is all clay work now up here. The plaster model, which we saw being made earlier, is down below.
This is also part of the project you're working on for Chicago. Right here, you literally see your thumbprints.
All right. Yeah, I use all my.
I would love it if your thumbprint stayed in there and ended up on the side of Chicago. I love watching the hands of an artist at work. It's so exciting. Victor, this tool you're using, what is that?
Oh, this is handmade tool. All tools I'm using is handmade, and they are very comfortable.
You're a sculptor,
Yes, I am.
an artist.
Right.
And these creations, as you just said, will be on a building for 100 years. What does it mean to you?
This is like poetry for me. Working with clay is like expressing my feelings.
I love that.
Good.
I love the personal stories.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this. This is the original that came off of the Chicago building, and Victor made this.
Yep, that's exactly right.
And it's broken up into pieces.
Within terracotta, we can't make this as one large piece. It's too big. So we make it in different size pieces, and that's where we have the joints.
This is beautiful too. This is a larger piece. It's
Yep.
all in one.
This is a piece we can't break it up because of the size, so we're making it a little larger. And we've got the fragment.
Oh, the fragment is right here. The fragment being the model, what you are trying to replicate.
Correct.
I'd say you nailed it.
He did. Victor did a great job.
Victor nailed it. And I also have to say, this is high end.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Material-wise, terracotta is not an inexpensive material. We're a high-end building facade material.
Look at what we have here. Is that a lion's head?
Yes, it is. This is for a job in Staten Island,
In New York.
in New York. Wow. These are unique pieces. You know, we see these, but we don't see these often. This is a very difficult piece to make.
Which artist made the lion's head?
I'm sure Victor did.
Victor, yeah.
I'm sure Victor worked on this.
I love looking at it from this perspective because you literally see what you guys made, what you're putting on the other side to replicate it, and then the final product will come back out looking just like that.
That's right.
And as I just touched it, I realized I left a fingerprint in it. I apologize.
You left your mark.
For all time. So you're gonna put me to work?
Yeah, we are. We're gonna go to work right here on a mold that Umberto is working on.
Let me see. Oh my gosh. You just lifted that thing up like a feather and I could barely pick it up. This
Now,
is
how,
not-
how would you like to be doing this for 8 hours?
Yeah, I wouldn't. And this project has more than 1,000 pieces.
That's right. More than 1,000 pieces on the job.
And it takes this to do one.
One, yes.
Oh my gosh. This is an old clay wire cutter.
That's what it is. Pull as hard and as fast as you can.
Here you go. I promise you it was not that easy when I And we're gonna come back here in a couple of hours once this dries.
Yes, we'll watch it when we call demold it or turn the piece out.
Here we have some pieces that have been turned out from the molds.
Yep, that's right. This part of it, this is all skilled work. We might make 50 of this same mold mark. And these 50, every one will be a little bit different, just because of the work we have to do on each one.
We just stumbled upon these guys taking this piece apart.
They're demolding it right now. You can see these are a bunch of loose
look.
pieces. When they take them out, you notice they go in, they have to put them back in the right spot.
Look how pretty that is. That is absolutely gorgeous. It still blows my mind that so much work is done for one piece.
You have to. And this piece here will have twice as much time on it as we saw on the other pieces.
So this is the piece that we made earlier. About an hour and a half has passed. It's had time to dry. Let's turn this out. You ready? Ooh. Look at that. How pretty. Did I pass?
You pass. Remember when you were pressing some of the edges, it looks like everything actually came out pretty good in here.
Nice. This is something that people are definitely familiar with, and that is your famous clay pottery.
Yeah. People know terracotta has a lot, is the pottery.
And look at this beautiful embroidery around the side.
Yes.
We say this again, the hands of the clay artist here are imprinted on all of the works.
Every piece is touched, and we touch every piece again and again and again.
Look at this. Wow.
This is a large oil jar shaped pot, smooth finish, a little different than we saw over there. It gives a nice, more of a modern look.
Is this piece finished?
Yes, this is finished.
May I touch it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's heavy.
Oh, this. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't do any more.
Sorry. I would have been fired had I been here between
Well, it's fine. Once it starts to
turning
go,
out earlier
it
in
may
this.
go all the way over and it would have been done.
You know, you have been here for how long?
18 years.
Does it astound you every day?
Oh yeah, what we can do, it gives you a sense of just pride. I mean, very, very prideful what we do here. It's the workforce of the other guys here that actually do the craftsmanship and make the piece. And they're artisans, and they know that they're artisans.
Artisans, yes, all throughout this place. So good to see you, Mike.
Anyways, glad to have you here. We're proud to be able to show you part of our plant that many people don't get to see.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
And for opening the doors here at the Models and Molds and Glazing McBean. Good to
welcome.
see you.
Thanks.
We've made it over from Models and Molds to another part of the terracotta factory with Jamie Farnham. Good to see you, Jamie.
Nice to see you too, Rob.
We cleaned up a little bit. We got kind of dirty over there.
Gotcha. It happens.
But it's an active plant. We have to put on our safety gear.
Absolutely. This is our glaze area, and it's where the terracotta units get glazed with the color that they're going to be. This is the final stage before they get fired in the kiln.
Oh, so these are some of the pieces that we saw being made over in Models and Molds.
Right, these are actually coping units that are going to be on a high school in New York, and these pieces have now been dried. They're 0% moisture. He's applying a glaze that we have composed and tested to make sure that we can copy the glaze that's on the building. So he'll spray it on the pieces, and then once he's got this done, that's when they go into the kiln.
There is no assembly line here.
No, probably the closest thing we have to an assembly line is our carousel, where we actually glaze the pieces and they go around. But because everything is custom and each piece is so unique, we have to put it through as an individual. So they are custom pieces of artwork, each and every one.
Let's look at this over here.
Yes, these are dentals.
They're what?
They're referred to as dental.
Oh, because of the teeth?
Yes.
I like that. Even though they are similar, as you said, each one has been crafted.
They may all have the same mold mark, which is what you see down here. This DA1 identifies the piece type, and this other is our job number. This is a Bayside High School in Queens, New York. This may be the same piece, but each one is done individually. So before we go over to the kilns, I'd like to show you something.
Look at how big.
We actually do have a standard product, and that's our garden pottery line. This is the biggest pot that we make. It's an oil jar, obviously. You can touch it. This has been bisque fired. It hasn't been glazed, but it will be as soon as it's sold.
It's huge.
It's huge. And this is a smaller version of the oil jar, which has been glazed. Yeah, no, it's very heavy.
Oh, how tall is this? 4 or 5 feet?
4 foot, yeah.
4 feet, okay. And do you know how much it weighs?
It's probably in the neighborhood of 800 pounds. It's heavy.
No wonder I couldn't move it. All right, this is very interesting over here.
Yes,
Look
they're
at this.
pretty interesting. Well, I named him Randolph. It's actually a gargoyle that we've recreated as a memorandum piece. We did a project in Chicago, Randolph Tower. We actually completed 14,000 pieces that were recreated on the Randolph Tower building in Chicago, and it's the largest facade replacement of terracotta in Chicago's history.
Jamie, look at what is coming out of the ceiling here.
It's our 33-inch sewer pipe being extruded on a vertical press. This is how we make our 33-inch and our 42 inch. The smaller pipes are extruded horizontally. These are extruded vertically.
Look at this thing.
They're cleaning off the remnants that come as it's pressed out. It's hollow in the middle, and you'll see them go in there to clean it on the inside. This piece of clay is vacuumized.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, so that it absolutely cannot break loose until it is told to do so by the mechanic at the top. So
Because this was literally just made,
yes,
and it doesn't fall apart.
no, the extrusion process in itself takes all of the air out of it. The press is vacuumized, so the PSI on our sewer pipe is extremely high.
And here you see still
Yes.
hands-on
Hands
work.
on even the sewer pipe.
Even the sewer pipe.
Yes.
Oh, and there it is.
Yes, and there's
It just
the
broke
piece.
free, and there it goes.
There it goes off to be dried. That too will go to a dryer.
This place is huge, and it goes on and on and on.
Yes, that's true. Wait till you see where we're going next. We're actually entering into the kiln area where we fire the architectural terracotta.
Unbelievable. What are these coming out of?
This is coming out of shuttle kiln 2. We fire most of our garden pottery line in this shuttle kiln. These pieces have been bisque fired in that they're not glazed yet. We do the garden pottery a bit differently than the architectural terracotta in that it's fired twice. That's what I mean by bisque fired.
Got it. These are hand pressed. They're not on a potter's wheel.
Right, that is what's really special. Each piece is hand pressed, making it an individual piece. So all these pieces may look similar, but they're all unique.
I love all the different sizes. Oh, and look.
Oh, our Glazing McBean bug. Each one of our pots does get the Glazing McBean bug, and they've used that bug since 1875 when they started making terracotta. So if you think you have a Glazing McBean piece, look for the bug and that'll tell you.
What about the roof tiles that you're famous for?
We also manufacture terracotta roof tiles. It's one of our stock products as well. One of the interesting things about our roof tile, we've been supplying Stanford University with roof tile for over 140 years.
Wow.
So when you go to Stanford University and you look at their rooftops, that's our tile.
This is blowing my mind.
These are the oldest kilns in the plant, and they're called Beehive kilns or periodic kilns. It's where we fire our sewer pipe. The other element to this area are the stacks that you see going through the roof. They are actually the original stacks that you see in the older photographs of Glazing McBean. Original stacks, yes.
Now, you mentioned sewer pipe. That also dates back to the origins of Glazing McBean?
Sewer pipe is what we started producing first, prior to the terracotta. Mr. Glazing and Mr. McBean actually found the clay deposit, which is behind us, some miles up the road, and took it to a place in Chicago and had it tested, and it was then known that it was one of the best clay deposits in the area, and so they decided to put the plant here.
They're so historic looking and yet so alive today. May we go in?
Yes.
This one?
They're massive inside. They're getting ready to load this one and turn it on.
It's warmer in here already and it's not even on.
Right, and they'll get it loaded and start the preheater. The entire period of firing takes about 3 weeks for it to get up to speed, up to the proper
3 weeks?
About 3 weeks from beginning to end, from startup to cool down.
It looks so neat to be in here. Thank you for bringing us
sure.
in here.
Yes.
And it is unique to be in here.
We're not open to the public, so not everybody gets to walk inside one of these Beehive kilns. Generally, it's just the people who are loading and unloading them.
And here's one that's lit.
It's just now starting to heat up. It's only been turned on for about 3 days, so we're just barely getting started here.
And it'll be 3 weeks.
3 weeks total from start to finish.
This is filled with
Pipe.
clay pipe.
Clay pipe,
sewer
floor to
pipe.
ceiling, sewer pipe.
This portion is off the beaten path, but we have to show it because look.
Right. They're impressive. Obviously, these kilns are not operational.
You think? But look at them, they're just stunning. I mean, you really see history alive here. And as I love to do on this show, I mean, this is a place where you can literally put your hands
Right.
on history.
On history.
And look at this kiln. These are covered in grass and moss.
Right.
Tell me more about what would have happened here in the day.
Well, and like we see up front, only instead of people, you had mules with carts behind them to pull the pipe in to get them loaded. So yes, mules were used here.
Fascinating. What do you think when you are in such a historic space?
Well, I love coming to work every day. That does excite me. I love coming to this place. We actually work in a museum. You're moved by the history of it all, and you're actually contributing to keeping that history alive.
So where are we now? And you've had us to take off our hats.
Yeah, we were able to take off our safety equipment because we're in a non-manufacturing part of the facility and we're getting ready to go into the museum.
And this is all closed to the public.
It is all closed to the public, which is why it's such a great treat to be able to see it today. This is our fire door. If you could open, it's very heavy. And the way it worked back in the day was there was a piece of burlap rope that held it closed. And if there was a fire, the burlap rope would burn and release this cable that would close the door and prevent the fire from going any further.
And it worked.
And it worked because this building has survived 2 fires.
Jamie, look at all of these terracotta pieces.
A lot of history here. Mr. Fred Anderson, who purchased the company in 1976, wanted this area preserved, and we intend on doing that.
And not only preserved, but as we're going to see, portions are untouched.
That's right.
They remain the same.
They remain the same as they were. One of our most famous sculptors, and it's Ernie Cadell.
Really?
He started in the early 1900s. This picture was taken, I believe, in 1955. And he's standing in front of the Procter & Gamble symbol, which he sculpted.
Very famous prototypes, I
Yes.
guess if you will, came out of here. This is Brooks Brothers. I recognize the logo.
Right, Brooks Brothers Clothing. We didn't design this piece, but this piece was made per the architect's design.
Love their logo. These are so beautiful. Native sons of the Golden West, San Francisco.
And these are pretty special. These are actually the original plaster models for terracotta pieces that were made for the Native Sons of the Golden West building in San Francisco.
And look at these stunning plaster models on this side. This one, Bank of America.
Right, and the terracotta piece that was made from this model is in Southern California.
This is fascinating.
And this is the seal of the city of New York. It's a plaster model for a restoration job that we did on a city-owned building in New York.
This is absolutely beautiful, Jamie.
It's very detailed. I mean, you see the Indian in the pilgrim on the side, the eagle, the lettering, and even the braid on the design. It's very detailed. This is the old modeling room through this door, and it's where the modelers worked, where the sculptors honed their craft.
Jamie, look at this.
This is where the sculpting was done, and if the pieces need to be laid up to fit together, these giant easels were used for that purpose.
This is so old and authentic.
And these easels are still operational. We still utilize them when we're producing big ornamental facades to fit them together.
Fascinating. This is unmistakable. Look at this. This is from the RCA Victrola, his master's voice. This is old.
This is old, and story has it that this is the first prototype for the ad campaign for the RCA Victrola.
My goodness.
And it's a plaster model, and we think that this plaster model was used to photograph and present to the architect or the designer for their final approval. When the sculptors and artists had downtime, they would practice their skill by creating some of these, and you can see what great detail goes into them.
And this piece right here shows where they practiced, because look at the thumbprints and the tool prints all around the top. And that's beautiful in and of itself.
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh. These are famous Californians.
Yes. These are all famous Californians, you know, Sutter, Sarah, some of the names.
And surrounded by works of art that you could see in anywhere around the world.
Around the world. I'm very excited to be a part of history and helping to preserve these wonderful buildings across the United States. We don't see the terracotta from the street, but I know it's up there. Without it, the cities wouldn't be the same because they do create an ambiance within the cities.
Oh, I love that. The cities would not be the same.
They wouldn't.
And it all came from the city of Lincoln.
Yes, the restoration of these beautiful buildings from the city of Lincoln.
From the origins of Glazing McBean in Lincoln. Awesome job, Jamie.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been a pleasure.
To order a DVD copy of this program, call 888-814-3923 or visit robontheroad.org.